triangle shape between Pogba, Ronaldo. The previous 4-3-3 club with 3 CF version, not the one with wing forward. What's special about this 4-3-3 club with 3 CF, when you use 3 CF, those strikers always press up. They never come back. Sure, you will have a massive gap between your midfield and striker since you don't have AMF, but that's why you see me how I'm playing, completely changing my game a little bit. I take my time on the ball in the midfield so I can move 3 of them with passing to get close to them. Unless you get like clear chances, then you can do a through ball. So the first squad builder I did on YouTube with Klopp, that was more balanced. I went more traditional in the midfield. I went for anchor or destroyer, box to box, and an offensive guy. Now with this one, remember I play every single game live, and before Data Pack 1 I went 930 rated. With Data Pack 2 I was just kept losing and drawing non-fucking stop. And I do usually rewatch my videos, my past broadcasts to see what I'm doing wrong as well. And I've always said, I know the plan, how to stick to a plan, simplify my game, and use the game as a strength. Play how the game wants me to play. Every time I do that, I'm consistent. I've done it before, and I've done it again. So every time I do that, it proves the point in there. What's special about this squad builder, usually I would start something like this if I am losing. Like, I'm using fullbacks. I'm not going 3CB. I'm not using defense on my fullback. I'm not using DMF. The strikers up front, I need somebody tall, 100%. I need somebody with a good touch in the midfield, so I can do that first time fake shot, turn shield. And regarding the fullback, they're both skillful fullbacks because they're gonna get involved a lot. These midfield, because it's flat midfield, you need your fullback support. And most of the time when they overlap, already have 3 CF, they come narrow. So down the middle is super dangerous. If you watch my previous stream, where we got the 50-win streak live, you will see how I played. And it's not like you can use exactly what I'm doing, you might not win much. I can use exactly what rank 1 is doing, and I'll be shit. So everything is more of a personal preference, your vision, your mentality, and your skill in general to be tested. But the one thing I've changed, like, what I like about yesterday's stream, for example, it wasn't about the fact we go 50-win streak. It was the fact how I changed my mentality. Usually I focus... Sophie, stop buttholing around. Usually I focus too much on what is going wrong with the AI. You know, the last minute goal, who's leading, who's not. When you're not lead, the defense gets misshaped. Every mistake from the defender becomes a fucking perfect through ball for the opponent. All that repetitive stuff that happens. So I simply just changed my mentality. I'm focusing too much on how to overcome it rather than talking about it. And another key thing is, I'm simplifying my game. The difference between what I was doing before, I went 3-5-2, 4-2-2, 4-1-2-3, 4-2-3-1, 4-3-2-1. Different formations. But the key was, I'm sticking to one formation for a couple of streams. I'm using the same squad. Yes, sure, if you use the same squad 18 players over and over, you will need stamina. But you can switch players about if you don't have stamina. You can just copy the squad based on player ID. I have a creator, I have an offensive midfielder, and I have a box-to-box. And I have a skillful technical fullbacks. Usually would go for physically strong and fast and mobile. But, you know, Koulibaly kind of has both. Explosive acceleration is a bit low. You know, when you're stationary to go that burst of speed with fast strikers. But the combination has been working well. So I'm not saying, oh, I'm on a 5-win streak because I'm destroying everybody. And the fact you could say, hey, maybe you go easier opponents. Believe me, 2 streams ago, usually I do at least 4-hour stream because I believe anything less than that, you don't have a momentum. I streamed for 5 hours. And I was losing and drawing. No fucking wins for 5 hours. And I went 7 more hours. So 12-hour stream in a bad form, dropped to 800 rated. I had to change something. So I decided to simply play the game at its strength. Play the game how it wants me to play. And what I mean by that, you know, simplify. Take a touch, shield, turn, pass, 1-2, shoot. That's it. You see a guy making a run, give him a through ball. Don't complicate it. And usually, as soon as I can see the goal, I try to pass horizontally, you know, not going forward too much. Stop buttholing around, cat! What? What you want? What are you? Fucking ninja. The other thing is, man, I always credit people. Somebody could tell me something in DMs. When I talk about it, I always credit. I never forget. I remember 2 streams ago when I was like, really, nothing was going well. So I simply said, guys, tell me, with Data Pack 2, what are you using that is effective? And I remember it was one of my viewers, Egyptian and MHM, simply said, go club, dude. Go club. You know what to do, go club. So I did that, right? And deep down, like, I know if I use a system and play the way the game wants me to play, I'll be effective. But imagine like every game with the same formation, just turn, pass, shoot, run. I'll get bored. And I think it's a bit boring to watch. So the reason why I'm doing this right now, just want to get the 1K rating to achieve the maximum effort series achievement, basically. Once we do that, then I can go back to have fun, man. I can use my fucking silly formations, use different players. That's how I enjoy it. That's how you guys enjoy it as well, most of the time. And a lot of you guys, it's good to see a little bit of a win streak, because usually we're like up, down, win, loss, because I change shit a lot. But the key thing is, as I said, your mentality when shit happens, you know what's going to happen. Don't focus too much on it. Try to figure out the way. Sometimes there are certain games that are impossible, by the way. And the fact that you could say, yeah, I did get some easy opponents, 400 rated, 500 rated, but there's something magical about that. When I was losing, I was constantly losing against players low rated. So most of the time, rating irrelevant. Like whether you have a champion badge or 1K rating or bottom rank, rewards are exactly the same. But I guess having a badge is something to achieve for the part of the series. So that is pretty much about the club that I'm using right now. I have to get that out. I'm going to clip it and upload it for YouTube because I've already been getting asked a lot. Every player I'm selecting, there's a key for it. Like De Jong, I swear by it. My key man, when I said De Jong, a lot of people will go say, hey man, what about your pace horse up front? Yeah, but you don't see me just constantly barging the ball forward and running. De Jong is simply just like the transition between attack and defense. De Jong is all behind it. The interception, he's like freaking everywhere. And as I said, crediting Egyptian and MHM, because especially Egyptian, he's a great player. He only plays club, like one of those guys. Most of you guys only stick to one formation, so you will know what works better than them. So he simply told me, Seb, stop fucking around. Go club, 4-3-3, no DMF. And I said, wait, dude, if I usually go like this if I am like, if I'm losing. So the key is I'm using a squad builder with player selection and advanced instructions and the way I'm playing. Usually I would play like that if I'm losing. My advanced instruction is simple. I use deep defensive line because, most of the guys just long ball and play direct. And I use counter on one striker. If I'm playing against somebody who's compact down the middle, I put counter on Cristiano. If somebody go containment wide, I put counter on Romario. Cruyff, I need players with good touches. Like I can have many other options. You can go Messi, Suarez, Aguero, different strikers, faster strikers, midfielders. I picked Di Maria because, he's got 2-star inspire for low pass, lofted pass, and dribble through. I need somebody tall in the midfield to win headers, and I need somebody tall up front, obviously to win high balls, and in the defense, I am solid. On the bench, I have box-to-box McTominay. If Pogba's out of form, I've got another tall guy. I've got Chamberlain. He's a CMF, super offensive. He'll be replaced by Di Maria. Hazard as well, if I want to be more offensive. And Salah, I've been using him as a CV because I'm trying to use more Liverpool players with Klopp. So that is pretty much about it, man. The reason why I had to do this because so I can... What do you think about Pjanic? Pjanic is good, man, but I think it's his balance kind of lacks when he's on the ball, or physical contact is one of them. I know, like, orchestrators usually are not fast players, but you have an advantage of good position in dictating the game from the back. And I know building up from the back most of the time doesn't get rewarded, but you have an advantage of orchestrator being a good passers and good dribblers. Shielding, turning, dictating the transition between attack and defense. So I prefer Modric. And I'm not talking about, doesn't have to be featured. There are silver balls better than gold. There are gold better than black ball. So that is pretty much about my squad, really. And the way I shape it up, I just leave everything default, to be honest. Just make the SS. Like, if I play against somebody who's playing very, very deep, obviously I will make one of them an SS. Because SS drops, pull the defender out, gives me a little bit more space. But I keep it like this, to press. My second version is the same one, but I'm shaping it more into a 100% focus down the middle with double DMF. Kind of acting like a double pivot to support the midfield better, not to get countered too much. And I have assistant coach Diego Simeone. This is my lockdown. If it's after minute 80 and I'm leading, I simply use defense on both my fullbacks, counter on a flank, because, you know, when you're leading, opponent's going to go aggressive. What do you want to do? You want to absorb pressure, intercept, and counter. And usually you want to counter and counter wide. So that is pretty much about the squad builder number 2 with Klopp, 3 strikers. The more of a advanced version of it and more offensive version. So if you guys have any question, you guys on YouTube, comment down below. And anything I'm saying, it's my experience. I play every game live and I play every game ranked to test everything out. And we all learn from each other if you put our egos aside, you know. I had some tips from my viewers. I kind of changed my game, certain things. And my gameplays, I will upload some gameplay highlights on YouTube as well. But the reason why, because when I download the YouTube, Twitch clip and then upload it to YouTube, kind of loses quality. And you know, YouTube has to be like 1080p or, you know, Ultra HD, 4K, 1000 frames per second and shit like that. So for those of you guys on YouTube, if you want to see more gameplay about this, just check out stream number 40. There's a 50 win streak and you will see exactly how I played. I mean, one of the things that I like to guys show you, I usually never play like that. I mean, I'm not really a tiki-taka player, to be honest. This clip in particular, I wouldn't call that tiki-taka, to be honest. Okay? I wouldn't call that tiki-taka. It's just me having a perfect flow of triangle passing. It's more of a ping-pong. This is one of the examples of gameplay. Obviously, this is a replay. Now, I get the ball. Look at the triangle shape between Pogba, Ronaldo, Mbappe. Boom. Another triangle. Cristiano, Cruyff, Mbappe, Ronaldo. Entertained? That is one of the stuff that... And the other clip, which was... I mean, somebody clipped it and called it next level tiki-taka. And as I said, man, I'm not really a tiki-taka player. But just to show you the different way of playing, because as I mentioned, there's a massive gap between my midfield and strikers, since striker doesn't drop back. And remember, this is the Klopp with 3 striker version. Don't get confused. By default, the 3 striker Klopp version, by default, it has 2 SS under the box. So this is more of a 20 pass build up. Let's see. I'm not showing off, by the way. myClub is not a mod you should judge anybody's ability. Just a little clip of how my build-up usually work. I'm not saying this is how I fucking score every game. No fucking way. If I need to long ball, I fucking long ball. If my opponent goes red mentality, I'm not gonna do short passes in my own half. A lot of time, on purpose, I do long balls so he can go deep defense or not go red mentality, so I can play a little bit more of my position game. So that's pretty much about it, man. Ooh, bad choice, bad choice, bad choice. Hopefully that doesn't cost me a goal. De Jong is always there, man. Only I understand the work that De Jong does. It's not all about who I have up front scoring these goals. It's who's orchestrating the transition between attack and defense. De Jong, man. Fucking key man. I I did not expect that, man. That was a nice pass. I thought that was just an L1 triangle, but still. That was a nice... you need the club with 3 CF, dude. You need this club, okay? Where is it? You need this club. The one that has default wing forward on the flank, not that one, this one. And this one, it's not available right now. Could not do anything after he scored 1 goal.